Welcome to the Coral Reef closing. I'm Miss D, and each day we'll wrap up our adventure here with a fun-filled activity to celebrate that God is faithful. Trust God. We can trust God to look out for us and be with all of us all the time. But that doesn't mean the hard things won't happen to us. When we say, God is faithful, trust God, it means that we can trust Him even when life gets hard. Let's try something. We've been imagining what it's like to be under the water, but sometimes people travel on the top of the water, and sometimes when they do that, they get seasick. Motion sickness happens when your ear and your eye get confused, and then the rest of your body gets confused too. You might feel a little like this. Let's try this. Can you spin with me? Everybody spin, 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 spin. Whoa! How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel a little dizzy, a little confused, a little maybe uneasy? Well, doctors and scientists, they found out that a way to help overcome seasickness is to focus far away on the horizon. Just like this. That's the part where the sky meets the sea. Now, while things right around you may be unstable, it helps to keep your eyes on something that's true and unchanging, just like that horizon. And that makes me wonder. Think about how you felt after spinning. When does life make you feel dizzy or confused or unstable? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in life that can make me confused and just kind of feel a little weird, right? Well, we need to remember that even in those times, God is faithful. But why is God so faithful to us? When we feel worried or wobbly or uncertain and unstable, God is an anchor for us. The Bible tells us to give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. God is faithful because He is loving and He is good. Now, every single one of us will go through a hard time in our life. You might be lonely or confused or afraid. Those are times to remember that God, He'll never let go of you. When you feel that way, I want you to know that God is faithful. Trust God. So I have a gift for each one of you. In your bags, we all have these little wristbands, and on it says, God is faithful. This wristband is a complete circle. There's no beginning and no end to it. And that reminds me of our Bible verse. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. Do you remember the motions, guys? Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His faithful love endures forever. So now I want you guys to take your wristbands and give it to the person next to you, your sister or your brother, or maybe your mom or your dad, and they can put it on your wrist for you. And when they do that, I want them to say, God is faithful to whatever your name is. So if they're giving it to me, God is faithful to Miss D, or God is faithful to Miss Melissa, or God is faithful to Lucy. And then we can have it on our wrist and remember that God is faithful, not just to everyone else, but God is faithful to us, not just the people in the Bible and not just the people that seem to be good people or whatever. No, God is faithful all the time to everyone. If you snorkel or swim or scuba dive, you might make a bunch of bubbles with that thing. But that's because we're not fish. We breathe out carbon dioxide, and that air bubbles up to the surface as bubbles. Bubbles are pretty fun. You've probably done something like this on a summer day or a birthday party just for fun, right? Got a little bubble wand here. Well, let me try that again. Let's see here. Here we go. Right? Bubbles are so fun. And that gets me thinking, are bubbles always round? Like, how could I blow a star-shaped bubble or a square-shaped bubble? I'm not sure. I brought some things to experiment here. We've got some different shapes and different things. Let's see. Let's see what bubble shapes these make. So, let me do this. Wow, well those were round. Let's try this. Some stuff we've never used before for bubbles, huh? Ooh, little baby bubbles. Those are round too. Now let's try this. I don't know. Do you think this would make a round bubble? I don't think so. I think this would make like a weird shape. Those are round too. What? That can't be. Let's try that again. If I can make one, let's see. It keeps making round bubbles. That's amazing. So why do you think the bubbles are always round no matter what type of blower we use? Now, there's a long sciencey reason for bubbles being a sphere or a ball shape. The short and easy answer is that there's pressure between the air inside the bubble and the air outside the bubble. The air molecules inside the bubble squish together so that they can stay far away from the air outside the bubble. Now what I want you to do is squish together. If you have a brother or a sister or somebody with you or just yourself, squish together to make a little squishy little bubble. Mini molecule gets squishy, squishy, squishy. Oh, you look like a little mini molecule because of the way God created the air and the water and soap and science. You can count on bubbles to always be round. And that's just how they're made. So faithfulness is something that you can depend on. Someone who's faithful doesn't change. And you can trust that person to do what he or she says and to be there for you and to love you. We trust that God is faithful. Trust God. You might say that God's love will always be around. All right, so let's finish this bubbly day with some fun songs of worship to Jesus. So go ahead and click on the next video for the worship songs.